Okay, here's the first part. Why? Why do you invest into real estate? Why do you invest actually in anything? Well, here's the short answer. You need to eventually have income that doesn't depend solely on your time. There will come a time, maybe it's old age as traditionally thought of, like 65 or 63 or whatever, after you work a long corporate job. But for me, that didn't work. I got out of college as an English major and got a job at a publishing company downtown San Francisco. I hated it. It was the beginning of the time where I knew that, wow, I'm not going to be able to be very employable for very long. But I needed money. I needed to pay rent, so I stuck around. Well, when you invest in an asset that ultimately produces income, despite you working on it or not, that is what you need to do. Okay, so that could be a business, it could be stocks and bonds, it could be lending out money to people on an interest rate, and or it can be real estate. And you got to be really clear on what you're after income wise, like when you want to get to this time where you have income paying you that doesn't require your time, energy, and effort. Some people call that passive income. Okay, except newsflash, real estate is never really 100% passive. Sorry, somebody should tell you that if they haven't already. But you can do it when you're really old, or you're tired, or you just don't want to work for somebody. But you need to have the fundamentals really, really dialed in order to do that. And part of those fundamentals is understand where your specific value comes from. So we'll get to that. Okay. So there's two questions you got to ask. When do you want to stop working, or at least being dependent on your time and effort in order to survive? And ideally thrive, like living a good life. So then that leads to number two, which is, what is that good life? Exactly how much money are you going to need to live the lifestyle that you want to live, and by when? So those are things that you have to consider. Again, how much money do I need and by when? So then let's talk a little bit about math. Okay.